Hello, and welcome to Dreamy Tales, a sanctuary where everyone can experience calm and a touch of magic before gently drifting into sleep. Tonight, we invite you on another enchanting journey, a story that helps soothe the mind and nurture a sense of peace. Before we begin, let's take a moment to prepare our bodies and minds for a comforting, restorative rest. Make yourself cozy, and with each slow inhale and long exhale, let the cares of the day gradually slip away. It's not always easy to step back from the day's demands, especially as night falls. Yet, remember, the less we worry about how quickly we'll fall asleep, the simpler it is for our minds to release any remaining tension. Allow the gentle flow of your breathing to wash away lingering concerns, and let the story ahead guide you into a state of deep relaxation. Now, settle in, and let the dreamy atmosphere softly wrap around you. Enjoy this story, and may you drift into a peaceful, restful slumber here on Dreamy Tales.
Wood smoke weaves through the air, an olfactory braid entwined enchantingly with notes of chocolate and coffee. Outside, snow descends, conspiring with the aromas to craft a perfect stillness. You cradle a ceramic warmth, the mug of hot chocolate radiating heat deep into your palms. A comforting tide washing through you. Lifting it, you inhale the sweet fragrance, sharpened by a whisper of mint. Here you sit, nestled within a timber-framed haven in Finland's far north, Sapmi, Lapland, a realm blanketed in white for more than half the year, cradled above the Arctic Circle. These months of profound winter shape a unique existence, life and culture irrevocably woven into the fabric of long nights and snow-laden landscapes. The coffee shop inhabits a traditional coda, less log cabin, more steep-roofed sanctuary. Its heart a substantial stone fire pit radiating warmth. Polished picnic-style tables are scattered like islands across the wooden floor. The air is mild enough for the turtleneck hugging your skin, though your heavy winter coat rests on a peg rack across the room. From behind the counter comes the gentle chime of mugs meeting water, a woman immersed in washing up. Around you, a soft murmur of voices, locals and fellow travelers, a tapestry of languages, English, Finnish, threads of Russian, hints of Spanish. Dim amber lights hang from metal fixtures, casting pools of hushed illumination, deepening the rustic intimacy. Through the window, the day already yields to dusk. Light drains swiftly here, yet color still clings to the sky's edge. Fresh snow drifts languidly onto the thick, pristine mantle, covering everything. Distant village lights flicker into existence. Shops, homes, even the silhouette of the cabin awaiting your return tonight. Each building emits the same soft, yellow-toned glow, a beautiful luminescence against the deepening blue of the snowscape. Snow-dusted trees stand sentinel around the settlement. The scene possesses a fragile magic, demanding to be enshrined in memory. Unzipping your backpack, fingers navigate the contents. Supple gloves, a leather-bound journal, and deeper still, a pair of ice skates, securely nestled. You brush a lace, a spark of anticipation for the hours ahead igniting within. Your phone emerges, cold against your skin. The camera app opens. You pivot towards the Windows tableau. Phone held aloft, A tap adjusts the focus on the screen. A few clicks capture the fading light before the device returns to your lap. You study the last image until the screen darkens. With quiet finality, the phone is switched off, returned to the backpack's depths. The zipper's rasp harmonizes with the nearby fire's contented crackle. Your attention returns to the table, to the ceramic vessel. Lifting the mug again, you breathe in the aroma softly, then take a deliberate sip. You hold the comforting warmth, sipping intermittently, absorbing the dual beauty of the cozy interior and the snow-veiled world outside. Eventually, the mug stands empty. Placing it gently on the wood grain, you gather your pack and slide off the smooth bench. A smile and a wave acknowledge the server as you retrieve your coat from its hook. You approach the curved wooden door leading to a small, sheltered porch. Grasping the handle, the chill of the encroaching winter announces itself, a sharp kiss against the metal. Opening the door releases a brief wave of cold air over your skin, but your layers, your formidable coat, stand ready against even the deepest frost. Before venturing further, you pause, taking a seat on a bench tucked beneath the eaves, shielded from the falling flakes. The backpack opens once more. Warm, woolly gloves are retrieved. You pull them on, finger by finger, adjusting until each hand feels perfectly encased. Now, you think, rising. You are ready. A deep exhale sends a plume of warmth ghosting into the frigid air, lingering for a moment before dissolving. Your rented kick sled awaits. It's the ubiquitous mode of transport on these snow-packed, unsalted lanes. Fashioned primarily from wood, it features a small chair mounted above twin metal runners, akin to elongated ski blades, crowned by sturdy handlebars. You left it propped just to the right of the cafe entrance. Each step towards it sends the snow sighing softly underfoot. There it is, just as you'd left it, though now lightly dusted with fresh powder on the seat and handles. As you approach, a local man ambles past. He gestures towards a small shed nearby, its triangular roof echoing the cafe's design, informing you in accented English that a snow scraper resides within. You spot the outbuilding, its long door looking slightly askew. With a grateful smile, you thank him for his unsolicited kindness. A firm tug wrestles the old shed door open. Ice crystals had formed in the gaps, sealing it partially shut. Inside, behind a large rake, you locate the scraper. A few brisk sweeps clear the snow from your sled's chair and handlebars. Returning the tool to its place, you push the shed door firmly closed until it catches. Almost ready, you muse, to glide towards the forest's edge. Your backpack is carefully stowed in the sled's chair, positioned securely. Then, one foot, then the other, finds its place on the runners. A gentle push-off with your right foot, then the left, establishes balance. Gloved hands grip the handlebars. You briefly imagine the biting cold they'd feel without the wool's protection. Removing your dominant foot from its runner, you launch forward with a strong kick into the snowy path. Crystalline flakes spray upwards like miniature fireworks. Suddenly, you're moving, gliding down the straight, snowbound street of this Arctic village. You settle into a rhythm, gliding smoothly, then kicking intermittently against the compacted snow to maintain momentum. Cabins drift past. Fellow villagers nod greetings. In the distance, the sunset paints the horizon with soft, ethereal colors, pale pinks bleeding into the delicate blue of the upper sky. The hues deepen with each passing moment. Sunset arrives early this far north, at this time of year. The inhabitants understand this rhythm of darkness and scarce daylight. They've learned to embrace it, fostering the culture of coziness, candlelight, and fire-warmed sanctuaries like the one you just left. Soon, you pass the man who offered help moments ago. He likely hears the rhythmic shush of your sled runners approaching. You wave, exchanging brief salutations without breaking stride. Tiny snowflakes alight on your nose and cheeks as you navigate the road. A profound sense of belonging settles over you. There is nowhere else. You feel with certainty kicking off again. You would rather be. A flurry of motion approaches. Children on their own kicksleds streak past, trailing a brief vortex of cold air. 2 young boys stand upright on their runners, bundled in thick winter gear, scarves flying. Another child sits nestled in one sled's chair, mitten-clad hands resting demurely on her lap. A white, knitted beanie pulled low, strands of hair escaping to dance in the wind. The small convoy vanishes down the street. After several more minutes of effortless travel, you execute a leisurely right turn. Rounding the corner reveals a scene of pure winter enchantment. Before you lies the lake, a vast expanse locked in thick, opaque ice. Pine trees, heavy with a magical dusting of fresh snow, fringe its perimeter. The crisp, clean scent of pine needles sharpens the air, beckoning your senses. A quintessential winter fragrance, mingling in your mind with peppermint and warm spices. The sun has now fully dipped below the horizon. Stars begin to prick the darkening indigo canvas above. A few scattered lampposts flicker awake, responding to the deepening twilight with faint, audible clicks. It looks utterly perfect for ice skating. Drawing closer, you glide to a gentle halt near the lake's edge, letting out a small sigh after the pleasant journey. You pause, admiring the snow-laden pines meeting the frozen water, the blissful white terrain stretching before you. A sturdy-looking log, half buried in the snowdrift, catches your eye, its dark bark a stark contrast to the surrounding white. You maneuver your sled alongside it, pressing the runners firmly into the snow to anchor it. Glancing down at your hands, you begin the ritual. Using your left hand, you tug gently at the fingertips of your right glove, sliding it off carefully and tucking it into your coat pocket. Repeating the motion for the left glove, you feel the soft knit against your momentarily bare skin. Bending forward, you unzip the backpack, pushing aside other items until your ice skates emerge. They clink and bump together as you lift them out, Protective covers sheath the blades. You pull them off each skate one by one, the chill of the metal sharp against your ungloved hands. The covers drop into the open bag. Your current footwear, snug snow boots, have kept your feet blessedly warm throughout the day. A flicker of hesitation touches you at the thought of removing them in this cold. Nevertheless, you shift the backpack aside and take a seat on the kick-sled's chair. Propping your right foot on the log brings your boot closer. You unlace it swiftly, sliding your foot free, feeling the plush fleece lining release its warmth. The boot drops softly onto the snow. Your foot slides into the waiting ice skate. Wrapping the laces firmly around your hands, you pull them taut, securing the skate snugly. A sturdy, tight knot follows. Wiggling your foot confirms the perfect fit. Lowering your right foot, you quickly replicate the entire process with the left. With both skates securely fastened, a flutter of anticipation dances in your stomach. It's finally time. Before rising, you retrieve your gloves from your pockets, pulling them back onto your hands. Instantly, your skin warms, cocooned once more. Now, you decide again, truly ready. Standing, you take a few tentative steps towards the frozen expanse. Snow crunches beneath the skate blades. Then, you are on the ice. Your body remembers, moving with an innate grace, a forgotten rhythm surfacing. It's been a while, yet muscle memory asserts itself. Soon, you are gliding, performing an unconscious dance across the lake's vast surface. The blades whisper and score the ice, a sharp, beautiful music accompanying your swirls across the thick, frozen water. Joy, pure and carefree, bubbles up inside you. It's just you, the immense silence and the raw beauty of Arctic Finland embracing you. You find yourself spinning slow circles of sheer delight. A smile spreads across your face, a soft chuckle escaping as you tilt your head back to look at the star-dusted sky, awash with gratitude for this singular existence, this perfect moment. As you gaze upward, a large, singular snowflake lands precisely on the tip of your nose, prompting another giggle. This day, you feel, couldn't possibly hold more magic. You continue skating, surrendering to the exhilarating sensation of freedom. Playfully, you experiment with small tricks, turning, skating backward. It takes a moment to find the balance, the right sway, but soon it feels entirely natural. Hips move rhythmically, propelling you in zigzags across the ice as you glide in reverse. After a few minutes, you turn forward again, the crisp air rushing past, colder now. The temperature has noticeably dropped since sunset. It brings the moon to mind. Slowing your glide, you scan the heavens again. There it is, you whisper, a sliver of a crescent, yet shining with surprising brilliance in the dark expanse. Nearby, a steady point of light. Venus, you recall. Planet bright, distinct from the twinkling stars by its unwavering glow. As your eyes trace the faint outlines of constellations, something else begins to register in the periphery. A subtle shift, like mist forming high above. You squint, focusing. Then a soft, involuntary gasp escapes, as the phenomenon deepens, coalescing into ribbons of mesmerizing, vibrant green. The northern lights, Aurora Borealis. The emerald curtains sway and ripple across the star-strewn stage, their celestial dance seeming to echo the movements you just made on the ice below. The lights shimmer, one section intensely, almost neon green, then extending outwards, softening as they flow and morph. Yet, despite the fluid motion overhead, time itself feels suspended. You're unsure if you're still skating or standing perfectly still, utterly captivated, feeling untethered from the moment. The otherworldly colors, the sheer scale of the light, the silent performance. It feels impossibly close. Instinctively, you reach a gloved hand upward, as if to touch the ethereal fabric. And then, as swiftly as it appeared, the light pulses, brightens, and fades, like velvet curtains drawing closed at a performance's end. A tingling sensation remains, suffusing your entire body as you stand motionless in the middle of the frozen lake. You feel intensely alive, yet simultaneously calm, serene, profoundly moved by the celestial ballet you've just witnessed. Nothing like it, you think? Never. Gratitude washes over you again. So glad to be here, today. Slowly, almost reverently, you glide around the lake one final time, your mind replaying the natural wonder. Then, you navigate towards the edge, back towards your waiting belongings, stepping carefully off the ice onto the snow-covered bank, tiny shards of ice scattering from beneath your blades. Back in the snow, you sink onto the kicksled's chair. Your fuzzy boots wait patiently. Bending down, you untie each skate, pulling them off one by one. Setting them aside, you reclaim your boots, lacing them comfortably tight. Standing, you turn and brush off any stray snowflakes that settled on your shoulders during your skate. Picking up the ice skates, you feel their surprising weight in one hand, while retrieving the protective blade covers with the other. Gently, you push the covers onto each blade, then place the skates back into your pack, letting out a breath of deep satisfaction. The backpack is zipped closed one last time. Now, you pull the kick sled back onto the main path, ready for the short return journey to the village center. Back on the runners, you glide swiftly along the snow-covered track. Some locals and visitors are still out, enjoying the crisp evening air. You notice they all seem to carry a similar quiet glow about them. You imagine yours mirrors theirs. As you pass a small group, snippets of conversation reach you. They're talking about the northern lights. A private smile touches your lips, thinking of the privileged, secluded view you experienced from the lake. Soon, you arrive back at your cabin, parking your sled alongside several others near the entrance. There's no need for locks or security here. Trust is woven into the fabric of this place. A couple of shallow steps lead up to the cabin door. You softly kick the toes of your boots against the risers, dislodging clumps of snow. At the threshold, you scrape your soles against a snowflake-patterned doormat before turning the knob and stepping inside. The small cabin opens into a common area where a few guests can gather around the central fireplace. Your gaze drifts towards the crackling flames, spotting a couple seated close together, holding steaming mugs. Tendrils of steam rise as the woman takes a sip. As the door clicks shut behind you, she glances your way, offering a warm smile before her attention returns to the mesmerizing fire. Heading down the short hallway, the wooden floorboards creak companionably beneath your weight. Moments later, you reach your room. A cozy sanctuary awaits, dominated by a large bed adorned with rustic textiles. The small potted pine tree sits in the corner, perfuming the air with its subtle, clean scent. Slipping off your boots, you reach over and flick on a string of tiny fairy lights, tracing the wall by your bed. They cast an intimate glow. Across from the bed, a window looks out onto the night. You walk over, pulling back the heavy curtains. Closing your eyes for a fleeting, hopeful wish, you then gaze out at the sculpted mounds of snow below, and finally, up at the clear, star-saturated sky. With a soft yawn, you begin to prepare for sleep. Soon, you're pulling back layers of luxuriously soft blankets, slipping between the cool sheets, one leg at a time. You plump the pillows, then lean across to the bedside table to switch off the fairy lights. And then, like a final act of magic, through your window, the aurora appears again. Luminous greens weave with soft, ethereal whites against the dark canvas. The lights move with a slow, languid grace, as if dancing and humming a silent lullaby. Time drifts. The lights glisten high above. Before long, your eyelids grow heavy, resisting the urge to stay open. You blink slowly, softly, drifting into a deep, restful slumber, your dreams already filled with the quiet magic of Arctic Finland and the dazzling, unforgettable dance of the aurora borealis. Before you drifts a compact house, canary yellow, nestled within an embrace of verdant foliage. A slender path of worn cobblestones meanders towards its wooden threshold. Sunlight, generous and warm, spills downwards, striking glints off the broad, still leaves of garden palms. The very air hangs thick, a tapestry woven from the scents of ripening fruit, damp earth, and blossoming flowers. Your bare feet press into the cool give of the grass, a soft counterpoint to the visual feast of orange and pink blooms, perfuming the breeze with notes of citrus and petal. From the yellow house emerges a figure, sunlight catching the ease of her smile. Flip-flops slap softly against her heels. She wears simple shorts and a long, unbuttoned shirt that drifts around her. She introduces herself, Ilara, her voice as warm as the afternoon air. This afternoon's journey into the world of cacao, she explains, will be hers to guide. With a welcoming gesture, she ushers you towards the house. Sandals slipped off at the door. You follow her inside. Your eyes adjust to the dimmer interior, landing on a square wooden table commanding the room's center. Upon it, small bowls are arranged like offerings, cradling cacao beans, dusky powder, and neat squares of finished chocolate. Shelves line the walls, laden with more chocolate and fragrant herbal teas. A modest kitchen occupies one corner, its stove awaiting a later task. The roasting of cacao beans, Ilara promises. Beyond the main table, a smaller room, walled with glass panels, reveals a gleaming stainless steel counter and a substantial melting pot. For now, you both settle at the central wooden table. Ilara speaks of lineage, of 3 generations tending cacao on this very land. She paints a picture of cacao's profound significance to the region's indigenous peoples, a revered fruit, its beans once currency, central to ceremonies that persist even today. She slides a bowl towards you. You lift a single bean. Its surface is smooth beneath your fingertips, its scent deeply earthy. A tentative bite releases a satisfying bitterness that floods the palate. Next, you scoop up a pinch of ground nibs, feeling their pleasant roughness between thumb and forefinger before tasting their grainy texture. Finally, a square of chocolate, already softening slightly in the ambient warmth. You place it on your tongue just before it yields completely to the air, letting it dissolve instead against your palate. A wave of flavor, rich and sweet, washes from the tip of your tongue, coating your cheeks, flowing down your throat. Exquisite. A buoyant energy rises within you, born of the chocolate's delightful taste and the anticipation of uncovering its creation. Ilara nods, confirming this sensation. Chocolate, she affirms, rivals coffee in its power to invigorate, yet imparts a strength that is simultaneously calming, devoid of jittery edges. The plant's deeper health virtues, she hints, will be revealed soon enough. Rising, Ilara leads the way back outside, into the embrace of the warm air. You slide your feet back into wading shoes. Everywhere, shades of green dominate, punctuated by bursts of yellow, orange, and pink flora. Following her down a gentle slope beside the house, it seems every patch of ground yields something nourishing. Ilara pauses, pulling a green-topped plant from the earth to reveal a bulbous, knuckled root. It resembles ginger, yet when she slices it open, a vibrant, almost startling orange is exposed. She passes it to you. The rough skin prickles slightly against your palm. You roll the root between your fingers, bringing it close to inhale the sharp, spicy perfume of turmeric. Handing it back, you notice a faint orange stain blooming on your skin. Your path takes you towards a papaya tree, the ground soft and yielding beneath your steps. Its pale brown trunk ascends to a canopy of long, slender leaves that flutter in the slightest breeze. Just below this leafy umbrella, a cluster of oval green papayas clings tightly to the trunk. As you trail Ilara across the garden, your eyes catch a sprawling lemon tree, a passion fruit vine heavy with plush globes, and a dense clump of spiky aloe. A dirt path beckons you upwards along another gentle incline. Here stand shorter trees, bearing what look like enormous ridged lemons and limes. This, Ilara announces, is the cacao tree, and these oval fruits in shades of yellow and green are the pods, she plucks a yellow one, handing it over. It feels surprisingly heavy, its skin waxy and textured with bumps. Together, you gather several more, cradling them as you trace the shaded dirt path back towards the welcoming yellow house. Inside, the air feels cool, stirred by the lazy rotation of an overhead fan. The time has come to begin the transformation into chocolate. Ilara arranges the yellow and green pods on the counter. With a swift cut, she reveals the interior, fleshy white pulp surrounding the beans. She instructs you to taste one, but with a caution, don't bite the bean itself. You place the white fruit in your mouth. It melts against your tongue, sweet and slightly tangy, reminiscent perhaps of lychee, as you carefully suck the flesh away, leaving the bean intact. Removing the seed, you hold a raw cacao bean. A nibble confirms its current state, soft, intensely bitter, a world away from the chocolate it's destined to become. Trying one from a yellow pod reveals a subtly sweeter pulp. The yellow signifies ripeness. These beans, still cloaked in their white fruit, Ilara explains, are destined for fermentation, left to bask in the sun's heat for a week. During this time, the beans absorb the fruit's sweetness, laying the foundation for chocolate's complex flavor. To continue the process now, Ilara produces beans that have already undergone this crucial step. With a click and a whoosh, she ignites the gas stove, setting a large frying pan upon the flame. You pour the fermented beans into the pan. Immediately, the air begins to bloom with the nascent aroma of chocolate as they dry roast. You stir them, listening to their gentle clatter against the hot metal. After several minutes, the pan comes off the heat, the beans tipped onto a plate. Picking one up, you feel its residual warmth before taking a bite. The outer shell offers a satisfying crunch, yielding to a warm, pure cocoa taste that fills your mouth. Slowly, you savor the bean, appreciating the stark, delicious contrast to the raw bitterness experienced moments before. Taste testing concluded, another batch is roasted and poured into a larger bowl. You and Ilara then walk past the glass-walled chocolate room, out the back door, and onto a wooden deck. Before you stand two grinders awaiting the freshly roasted beans. Beyond the deck, across a stretch of grass, a long table is covered with trays lined with broad, flat banana leaves. Upon these leaves lie more cacao beans, caught in the midst of their sun-drenched fermentation. Back on the deck, you pour roasted beans into the first grinder. Turning the metal handle sets the mechanism in motion, round and around. The machine cracks and breaks the beans into smaller, irregular pieces, cacao nibs, which tumble into a tray below. This grinding action liberates a potent chocolate fragrance, stirring faint, pleasant echoes of childhood treats. Scooping up a handful of nibs, you inhale deeply before letting them cascade through your fingers. You feed the remaining beans into the grinder, the rhythmic turning of the wheel, a pleasant task against the backdrop of lush greenery. Once all the beans are coarsely ground, Ilara demonstrates the sifting technique. Cupping the nibs, you toss them gently upwards between your hands. The lighter outer shells catch the breeze, fluttering away like chaff, while the heavier, denser ground cacao falls back into the tray. You repeat the motion, watching the shells drift down to join their brethren, covering the earth around the grinding station, perfuming the air. The soft hooting of unseen birds drifts from nearby trees. A light breeze cools your face. The entire afternoon feels imbued with a simple, profound delight, and the final chocolate remains yet untasted. Suddenly, a flash of vivid color, a scarlet macaw settles into the branches of the papaya tree before you. You pause, watching it preen, admiring its brilliant plumage, listening for a moment to its calls. Costa Rica, a jewel of biodiversity. The fruits tasted, the creatures seen and heard, all testament to the country's vibrant beauty. With the nibs sifted free of their shells, you carry the tray to the second grinder. This machine promises a finer transformation. Again, you turn the lever round and round, watching the nibs break down further, becoming a coarse powder. The cocoa scent intensifies with every rotation, evoking memories of steaming mugs on cold days. The breeze continues its gentle caress as you work. An iguana, ancient and unhurried, ambles across the yard, utterly indifferent to the delicious alchemy underway. When the last of the nibs have passed through, Ilara offers a glass of water. You gratefully accept, sipping the cool liquid, wiping a bead of sweat from your brow. Chocolate making, you realize, is labor, yet deeply satisfying. Resting for a moment, you breathe deeply, noticing how the rich chocolate aroma now mingles with the garden's floral exhalations. An utterly intoxicating blend. Water finished, you carry the tray of finely ground cacao back inside, entering the glass-paneled chocolate-making chamber. It's a compact space, distinctly more modern than the rest of the house. The temperature is noticeably cooler. Through the glass, you can see both the garden outside and the kitchen within, where the final tasting awaits. On the stainless steel counter sits an open-topped metal blender, like a sturdy chalice. You pour the chocolate powder inside. Ilara flicks a switch. The powder begins to whirl faster and faster, particles refining, smoothing. What begins as powder, the sort you might imagine for hot cocoa, undergoes a startling metamorphosis. It begins to liquefy. The heat generated by the friction, Ilara explains, coaxes the natural cacao butter from the solids. This fat is the key, transforming the dry grounds into molten chocolate. You watch, mesmerized, as the contents of the bowl become a swirling vortex of smooth, dark liquid. Ilara hands you a small wooden stick. Dipping it in, you lift it out. The mixture is thick, glossy, clinging heavily. The taste of the pure blended cacao is astonishingly rich, intensely creamy. It seems impossible that neither milk nor sugar has touched it. As you continue to sample, Ilara slips out and returns with several jars containing colorful dried fruits. One holds the spiky green peels of guanabana. Another, the tiny dried seeds of passion fruit. A third contains the dramatic white flesh and magenta skin of dragon fruit, while the last holds dried marignon, the small reddish-orange fruit of the cashew tree. Bursting with vitamin C, you pause, considering each potential flavor companion for your chocolate. Taking in the vibrant colors, you uncap the jars, inhaling their distinct scents. Sweet, sharply citrusy, subtly tart. Your choice settles on passion fruit. Ilara swiftly grinds the dried seeds into a fine powder. Then, taking the bowl of liquid chocolate, she pours it directly onto the cool stainless steel counter. It pools, spreading from a central point into an expanding, perfectly round disc. Ilara sprinkles the golden passion fruit powder across the surface. The sweet, tart scent of the fruit marries instantly with the deep cocoa aroma filling the small room. She hands you a short metal spatula. You begin to fold the powder into the chocolate, the mixture yielding softly, creamily under the blade. Once thoroughly combined, you carefully guide the flavored chocolate into a silicone tray molded with heart shapes. Ilara whisks the tray away to the freezer. You lick the remaining chocolate from the spatula. The passion fruit, a bright counterpoint of sweet and sour, melds seamlessly with the creamy, slightly bitter cacao. Perfect. Carrying the mixing bowl back to the main room, you sit again at the wooden table. Ilara joins you, and together, using wooden sticks, you scrape the residual chocolate from the sides of the bowl, sharing the delicious remnants. The unique, evolving flavor of the cacao at each stage is remarkable. You understand now why it was held in such esteem, truly a food fit for gods. And being such a revered substance, not a drop should be wasted. Ilara smiles, sharing the impromptu snack, and speaks of raw chocolate's gifts, energy, stress relief, even potential benefits for the heart. Many plants on her farm, she adds, possess medicinal qualities, aiding digestion, bolstering immunity, enhancing well-being. Judging by the contented grin spreading across your face, fueled by raw chocolate, these claims feel entirely plausible. Conversation flows easily as you wait for the hearts to harden. The wooden house seems to settle around you, whispering its own quiet story in creaks and sighs. In what feels like mere moments, the chocolate is ready. Ilara returns, popping the firm, cool hearts from the tray onto a plate. You pick one up. It feels solid, cool against your fingertips. But warmth begins to soften it almost immediately, so you place it in your mouth. You let it rest on your tongue, allowing it to melt slowly. Solidified, the flavor deepens, intensifies. Remarking on this to Ilara, she mentions that mixing the liquid chocolate with milk creates sublime hot cocoa. Taking slow bites, the flavor detonates gently on the palate, the slight bitterness of the cacao, balanced by its inherent creaminess. The passion fruit adding a perfect sweet tart grace note. The delight is amplified by the knowledge that every component originated right here, nurtured by this land, and the satisfaction of having participated in its creation makes the taste even sweeter. While you savor the chocolate, Ilara brews a pot of herbal tea. Guanabana fruit, she explains, also grown here, a potent antioxidant used traditionally for healing, still valued today. The tea arrives, smooth and subtly bittersweet, its delicate flavor a perfect foil to the rich cacao. Sipping tea, finishing the last pieces of chocolate, laughter and stories are shared with your insightful guide. Ilara recounts tales of a childhood woven into the fabric of Costa Rica's rainforests, of learning the ancient art of chocolate making. You, in turn, share glimpses of your own life, your own favorite indulgences from home. Outside, the sun begins its descent, painting the sky in fiery hues. As the last piece of chocolate dissolves on your tongue, a profound sense of contentment settles over you. You relish it, letting it melt, chewing slowly, the flavor seeming to permeate not just your mouth, but your entire being. Heavenly. A smile lingering, you carry the remainder of your tea outside. The mug warms your hands as you step back into the vibrant soundscape of Costa Rica. Somewhere in the deepening green, the resonant calls of howler monkeys echo through the trees. Two birds splashed with brilliant color offer their evening songs as the lowering sun casts long shadows, making the leaves glitter like emeralds and gold. The tea's warmth spreads through you, a soothing tide that deepens your relaxation, grounding you in this magical place. The setting sun bathes everything in a soft, rosy light. The turmeric plants, the papaya and lemon trees, the yellow house itself. A wave of gratitude washes over you for the experience, the place, the connection, and especially for the taste of chocolate born from this earth, shaped by your own hands. Surrendering to the moment, letting the sounds and scents and colors envelop you, a profound sense of peace descends. You feel utterly relaxed, ready perhaps to simply curl up and drift asleep, cradled by the gentle symphony of the Costa Rican rainforest night.